guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today we are going to do part 2 of the aesthetic DIYs using the Cricut Joy. If you guys missed part 1, I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check out that video as well. Cricut provides cutting machines for crafting and DIYs. The Cricut that I will be using today is the Cricut Joy, which I used last time, and it is the smallest machine in the Cricut lineup. So for the first DIY, I wanted to make a graphic tee or a graphic tank. So I have here a white Forever 21 tank that was like $7. The materials that we're going to be using for this project is the Cricut Smart Iron-Ons, the Cricut Heat Resistant Tape, the Cricut Heat Mat, and the Cricut Easy Press Mini. So first I had to pick out my design. Lately, again, I've been really drawn to butterflies, so I decided to put a butterfly on this tank. I thought it would be really cute and very simple and also stylish, so that's what I went with. I just went on the Cricut design interface. I went in, sized my butterfly to how big I wanted it to be, and then went on ahead with the cutting process. If you guys missed the last video, I kind of went a little bit more in depth about the process when it comes to cutting, so go look at that video. But I again just sized the butterfly. I picked, what materials I was using, which was the Smart Iron-On materials, and then I loaded the materials into the cutting machine. So the butterfly was really easy to do. Again, I had no problems with the cutting, so it cut all the way through and it went well. Once the butterfly was done, I had to remove the negative space. So anything that I didn't want to iron onto the shirt, I had to go ahead and remove it. I used the weeder again, like I used in the last video, to remove those negative spaces. So after that, I looked up ironing instructions on Cricut's Heat Guide. They have a heat guide website to show you basically the instructions when it comes to iron-on projects. So I went on ahead and looked that up. So I just went to Cricut Heat Guide. I picked which press I was using, which is the mini press. Picked what heat transfer materials I was using, which was again the Smart Iron-On, Cricut Smart Iron-On material. And then I picked my base materials, which was a cotton blend shirt, so that's what I chose. Then after you choose all of that, it will give you instructions on the best way to apply the iron-on. I do like that they definitely give you instructions and you're not just kind of trying to figure it out on your own. So this was very helpful. So I gathered all my materials and I preheated the mini press. I set it to medium based on the instructions. The press will be an orange color while it's preheating, and once it's done, it'll turn green. I folded my shirt in half twice to make sure that the butterfly was going to be centered. I slid the Easy Press mat into the shirt, and then I placed the butterfly in the center, making sure that the shiny part of the film was upside. To keep the butterfly from moving, I used the heat resistant tape, and then I started to press. I lightly moved around the butterfly to press it for a few seconds in each spot, and then next I flipped the shirt inside out to get to the other side and press that as well, just like I did the front. Once the shiny film was cool to touch, I slowly peeled it off. And again, slowly, because you want to make sure that it is pressed onto the shirt. If it's not, then you'll have to go in with some more heat. But everything turned out well, and it was super easy to do, and it looks professionally done. And this is how the tank top turned out. For my next DIY, I wanted to make a card. The materials that I used for this project were just the Cricut Joy card mat and the insert cards. Cricut has some really nice card designs that can be used, so I just decided to use one of their birthday card templates. So I selected my design, then I had to select the size of the card and started the cutting process. The cutting mat is for making the cards. That way you don't cut the card all the way through. Also, the mat has a grip or like stickiness to it, which keeps the card from like moving. So it keeps it in place on the mat. It was really interesting to watch how precise the cuts were when it came to the cards, because They are a lot of fine lines when it came to specifically this card design, but it was fast and really precise on how it cut it. Once the card was done, I unloaded it and started to remove the card from the mat, which was easy because of the stickiness on the mat. So as you're like pulling away the card, the cutouts kind of stay on the mat, which I thought was really cool. You do need to be careful with this step also, because if your card has fine cuts and lines like mine's, it's really easy for it to rip. So you do have to do it very slowly and easily. After the card was removed from the mat, I selected my background to place in the four corners of the card cutouts, which is pretty impressive that the design actually incorporated the cutout of the corners, so it makes it really easy for you to place the background, and you don't have to use glue unless you want to. And this is the finished product. While I was looking for this design, I saw another cupcake card that I really liked, so I went ahead and made another card. I did the same cutting process as I did for the first one. And this card was a lot easier to pull off the mat because it didn't have as many fine lines as the first card. I then selected the background. This time I decided to do a transparent background, but also a solid color to go on the back of it. Again, I placed it in the four corners of the card. I love how both of the cards turned out. It was super easy to make, and I just find that like making a card makes it that much special. So I will definitely be making more cards using the Cricut Joy. My last DIY that I did was I wanted to customize one of my notebooks. If you guys know me, you know that I love notebooks. The notebook that I have here is a gridded notebook from Amazon. I'll leave a link to this notebook in the description. I really love it. It comes in a pack of 3, but they are blank notebooks, so it's a little boring. So I decided to add something to it to help, brighten it up. The materials that we're going to be using for this project is just the smart vinyl. I used it in the first video, so we're going to be using that again. The design that I chose for the notebook was these cute little flowers in various sizes. I did use the same vinyl sheets as the first design because I didn't want to waste the materials. So you'll see some of the butterfly cutouts on these sheets as well. This process was a lot faster than when I first started using the machine. I guess I know my way around the machine now, so this process was a whole lot easier. I again used the weeder to remove the flowers from the cutting sheet, and then I placed them on my notebook. And this is how that project turned out. Overall, all the DIYs turned out very, very good. My personal favorite has to be the shirt. I love the tank top. It is really, really cute. I definitely see myself wearing it. It looks professionally done, like I just brought it out of a store, so that one was my favorite. But again, all of the projects turned out really, really good. And if you guys would like to purchase a Cricut Joy, I'll leave a link to the Cricut Joy in my description. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you are thinking about buying one, I would totally suggest that you buy one. It is really, really useful, and you can do so many different projects with it. But that is it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.